I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
It's every Red Raiders' favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Happy Friday. It is Tech Talk here on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app, brought to you by Happy State Bank. We are live from the Overton, and we are within 24 hours from kickoff as the Texas Tech Red Raiders, 8th-ranked Red Raiders, host the 7th-ranked BYU Cougars. Cougars coming in spotless on the record. I'm Clint Scott. He's Dr. Mike Gustafson. We do have Jimmy Cook Long. Jim Silver's here in person taking care of us. Today, a black shirt with white staff written on it. Again, just remember that description for much later on in the show. A chance to win a couple tickets to tomorrow's matchup. We also have Kyler Brown back at home base taking care of us in the First United Bank studio. Hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Thoughts, comments, questions, predictions for tomorrow, your keys to the game, anything like that, we will take on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. And if you want to watch us, you can do so on YouTube or on Fox 34 News Now. And if you're looking for YouTube, it's youtube.com/Double T Sports Network. And if you're going there, we'd appreciate if you like, subscribe, all the good stuff there with the YouTube page. Gus, it has been a whirlwind of a week.
Yes, it has.
It has flown by. It has been super fun. Friday has been chock full of national media stuff, from Pat McAfee, Josh Pate getting here, all of that stuff. Everybody, Mishihan Jayaraja has been here for a couple of days now. Everybody covering Raiderville. And man, the national eye, if you didn't know, was going to be on you tomorrow.
Well, you got that right. And the McAfee stuff was fantastic. Just the social media coming out of this stuff so far has been fantastic. And I say the social media side, of course, McAfee's is more than that, but
sure,
tremendous following. And he's putting on he's doing it from down there in the south end zone. You know, and the club deal down there at field level with the neon Wreckham behind them, and you know, and then Saban's in here talking about how great the facilities are and just how much he kind of clicked with Joey in terms of culture and just all of that stuff that they vibed on. I mean, and we can go on and on and on with this stuff, but it's just it's the proverbial stuff you can't pay for. You know, like stuff you couldn't afford to buy in advertising. We're getting today.
Yeah, I've said this earlier this week. You know, I don't watch a ton of the Pat McAfee show. I have nothing against it. I think it's provided some juice, I guess, on the ESPN. I know he's like, you know, it's palate based, right?
Sure.
If you love him, you love him. If you don't, you're probably annoyed by him. His interview with Joey McGuire is just another showcase how quickly Coach McGuire can win someone over. He went over that whole crew. They were like ready to run through a brick. They were ready to suit up and play tomorrow for the Red Raiders.
Oh yeah, and I think you can get it to the Texas Tech Red Raiders channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
You'll probably find it different. But the whole deal's maybe 15 minutes long. But you know, you kind of go, man, these guys are really vibing. They're liking it, and you hear that all the time. Everybody kind of likes Joey in the profession. But then they get out of the interview, Joey's gone, and they go to the two. You know, I don't know, A.J. Hawk and those guys back at wherever, and they're like, man, I love that guy. You know, like they're fired up about it. And so, you know, it's because that dude, that's a commercial for recruiting.
Yeah.
And Joey told that story about you know, having being in a group text with the class of 2026 recruiting group, all those kids that have committed, and he said he wakes up and there's what did he say, there was 30 texts, 50 texts,
yeah, just
something like that?
Crazy number.
And they're going nuts over the video from Raiderville last night that looked like it looked like Logie's over there.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, like somebody had some music bumping, and the whole area between the Sports Performance Center and the south end of the football stadium is just a club, and people are dancing like, holy Moses. And you know, and so he's and so he said, so to our point, these 17-year-old kids are like, oh my gosh, I want to get there.
Yeah.
No, it's not always like this. We're playing Pine Bluff. They weren't over there dancing in the tents and all that. But
maybe next year. We'll see next year.
But that's the mark, and that's what these people want to build for. And I understand it.
Well, that's why it was it was vastly important that you have a good season. You've already had a good season. You're trying to have a great season because you knew that there was a chance that national eye was going to shine a spotlight on you at some point. And the hope was hopefully it would be a college game day type national eye. Now, you're lucky that you are now on a list. I know you didn't host, but you were a part of the matchup to be on Fox Big Noon Kickoff to start Big 12 play in Utah. Now you have college game day here. So I think that is important. One, just because it's great for the university to be seen, and they've done such a good job from Texas Tech and then also from the actual game day showing and everybody that's involved. And I'm excited to see what it's going to look like tomorrow. But they've already done a great job doing a deep dive and really presenting the university in an important way. But when you're looking at, like, recruits, and by the way, if you want to, feels like every home game we've said your recruiting weekend is bigger and bigger. The number this week of recruits in-house, whether committed, you're trying to get to commit, or some targets you're trying to flip, is enormous. But if you're if you're trying to plant seeds, if you will, this is the type of showcase you do. I mean, just think of Texas Tech versus Texas in 2008. Why that was such a big deal. One, you took advantage. It was a great showcase. The game is obviously historic in the sport, and that's got its own lore. But you took advantage of that, and there's a lot of people that we'll have the stories like, that game made me a Red Raider fan. Obviously, you're going to have people from there that, were truly a Red Raider for life. They were born into a Red Raider family. They were destined to be Red Raider fans. But you have another opportunity like that this weekend. The other side is BYU saying the same thing. How you viewed that Utah game is how BYU is viewing you, that we're going to go knock off a giant. Even though we're the undefeated team, we're not the one who's favored. We're being talked about, but it is 100% leaning towards the host site. That's usually how it works. It's not anything crazy, but
BYU's going to be able to – they come in here and win this game. Their side of this conversation, if they come in here and win this game, they're going to be able to start making a case for, hey, we want to buy, fellas.
Yeah.
Like we're setting up for undefeated and get a bye. And this would constitute a most quality of the quality wins, this one right here. And so their side of it, it's not like they're coming in here just saying, yeah, take it.
Yeah, they're not coming in scared or quivering or anything like that. It is Tech Talk live from the Overton. Back with more next here on Double T 97.3.
Podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is a Friday edition of Tech Talk. The Red Raiders are hosting BYU this weekend, which means we are here at the Overton. Come by, come say hi. Come check out the Pecan Grill. They always do a fantastic job. I'm very curious. I haven't seen just yet what the feature items are, but, they're perfect. They're 10 out of 10 every single time.
Yep, that's exactly right. And it's not just don't think just bar food.
Yeah.
Love bar food, by the way. But, yeah, this is you could get all kinds of stuff here.
What was the
nice
description?
Pastas and
elevated comfort food,
there you go.
believe?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a step above.
Gus and I will be the next judges on Chopped, by the way. We'll talk about the level of acidity and too much salt, not enough salt. That's all I got. That's all I've learned.
That's it. Attaboy.
That and Guy Fieri saying that would be good on a flip-flop. So I don't know if that's quite the same, but he's on that channel. A lot, kind of.
Okay.
Clint Scott, Dr. Mike Gustafson, who's done with this conversation. Jimmy Cook here as well.
I like the sound of it, but I don't know. I don't have much to add.
And then a guy's grocery
It'd be good on
games.
a flip-flop. That makes perfect sense to me, though, because I know what a flip-flop is.
My go-to is that would be good with cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll work, too.
Yeah.
If you're Chuck Hines, you said that'd be good on a slide. I don't wear flip-flops. I wear slides.
Those have been a little dangerous for him, though. He needs to stop the slide.
We've seen his slide his forehead into the parking lot concrete too a couple times apparently, but and I want him to do better. It's funny that's an interesting thing because Chuck is so put together. Like he's dressed nicer than we are every day.
I thought he
thought
he slept in a tie.
Right, and I need all that, and then that's the guy who's wearing slides around to get on the team bus and then falling and busting his behind.
I thought it was full suit slumber, and he was like,
and I'm not.
Here's a gift card.
And I'm not dragging him. I'm not
Chuck
dragging
Hines,
him dragging him and making fun of him as much as I am like of all the people. You'd think that it'd be somebody that was kind of a slobby guy that would be the one that's
like me.
But yeah, if you fell and busted your butt wearing slides somewhere that you shouldn't, I'd go, that totally tracks.
Hey,
and yet it's Chuck, and I think the report is that he fell twice in those slides.
According to the Jamie report.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, he's with him 3 hours a day.
The rat tail report, as we call it fondly. By the way, you can see Wild Chuck Hines, Rob Burrow, everybody here live at the Overton tomorrow. It'll be the Double T 97.3 Coors Light post-game show when it's all said and done. You can also call in, text in, all the typical stuff. And hopefully tomorrow's show, I think regardless of the result, will be the most wild post-game show we have, just because of the implications and just how big the game is. Let's get to some thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We got this to start us out. I'm so nervous.
I know. I'm it's probably nervous is probably right. I was actually trying to categorize my feelings. Antsy is the way I would describe myself. But
yeah.
I think and I was trying to even equate, like, well, how does this, was it similar to me playing, sitting in class during the day going, man, we got a big game tonight.
Right.
We got a Southwest Conference game tonight or whatever. Baseball player, if you're not familiar with the show. But like.
Both of us, clearly.
Yeah, clearly. And it's kind of that same antsiness, like that same visceral feeling that I'm feeling now was the same one that I would like if I would let my mind wander to the game.
Yeah.
It's like, and it, then it served some purpose. Like, yeah, you're about to be, front and center in this competition. Now it's like, what are you nervous about? But yeah. I equated it to, and I was trying to process this emotion this morning. Been doing this since went to my first game in 1978, all right? Season tickets in 1979. Texas Tech letter winner, stood on the sidelines for this football team 2 years in the early 90s as a street coach, and then just going to games forever, right? And all of that to say, I know how hard it is to get to this moment right here, right?
Yeah.
Even you guys your age can go, oh, it's been 17 years. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then we if you want to even give my little puny list that we read yesterday some credibility, I came up with, in the last 50 years, maybe 5 games, possibly up to about 8 games that are in the same stratosphere as this game in terms of importance, right? And that's my point. Been doing this for 46 years, and I came up with 8 games, maybe, probably more like 5, right? 4 or 5. And
8 you kind of like smudged into the list because that's how difficult it is to find things remotely on the same level.
Yes. And a lot of us remember the Texas and OSU games in 08, and those were monster games, a lot like this. Certainly the Texas game was because you throw in the brand that we're playing. But all of my antsiness, and probably to the texter's point and everybody else, don't want to speak for him or her, but we all know how hard it is to get here. Like, we've climbed up this mountain to a certain level. It's like, man, I want to keep climbing. It's in the same time of year that we're talking about high school playoffs and all that stuff. That's what this game tonight feels like. Tomorrow almost feels like a little bit of an elimination game. Now, I know it won't be entirely if the Red Raiders lose it.
But it basically is an at-large elimination game.
Yes.
It really is. And because there obviously is still a very plausible and almost probable route for both teams to the Big 12 championship is how I would label it. But as far as if you are looking at an at-large and putting yourself absolutely back against the wall, got to win the conference, which, we're all rooting for anyways, that's, in my mind, what the elimination-style game is. And you know what's funny? Like, you go through, and I'm sure a bunch of longtime fans and graduates and alumni and all this can share a similar thought to what you just gave of, giving everything to the program, your viewership, love, whatever. and just how long you've been waiting for another game like this. I'm like a good example of the other side of kind of how we started the show, because in 2008, I was a little 8th grader in the state of Kansas, but that game is just a college football fan stuck out to me. For little did I know eventually I'd be covering them, right, and work my way there. But like I wasn't in the fan, but like didn't grow up a Red Raider fan, anything like that. But that game still had a massive effect on me.
Sure.
And I'm not going to sit here and say like I remembered it and it meant as much to all of the fans or anything like that, because it didn't. But that's the sort of effect a game like this can have to the national, to that little 8th grader that could be watching in Tuscaloosa this week.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's you can get into a much broader conversation about, sports and athletics and all that stuff as the front porch to the university. And that, what you're describing is exactly the point to all this. Man, you got eyeballs on, and, of course, now you get social media and there's some other things that help with that conversation. But,
somehow it's done in a massively bigger way than even if you go back to just that 2008 season.
But, and that could only get bigger if you keep on winning, because you start talking about college football playoff, and my goodness.
At 4 o'clock with this game, we're going to have just a smidge of Heisman talk. It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3.
It's every Red Raiders' favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hour number 2 of Tech Talk. We'll go to 6 o'clock today here live from the Overton. You got us on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app, brought to you by our friends at Happy State Bank. A reminder, at 5:15 here at the Overton, we will give out 2 more tickets. Bring your thinking cap. And when you walk in through the main doors, you just turn left and you'll see us in the corner with our Double T 97.3 logo behind us. And then Gus and I and Jimmy will be standing nice and tall.
Yep, head down the hall toward all the people. That's the bar area.
Great bar setup over here, by the way.
Nice patio setup. Yeah, and it's good patio weather right here.
Yeah, we're here. It took us a little bit to get there. But we're here in good patio weather.
No doubt.
Let's get some thoughts and comments from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. You can hit us up there as well. We are a Texas Tech house, but my daughter goes to an SEC school. She's so excited about this Texas Tech game and College Game Day. She's driving 9 hours back tonight to get here.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, how many people have we seen coming here out of town this week for this game? Everybody drive safe. I know some have already here that have been checking in, but everybody be safe, and it's a good weekend to come back to Lubbock if you're out of town.
Yes, and it is. And, man, everything will be popping in terms of attendance and bodies and whatnot. Yeah, this is as good as it gets. Need to finish it off tomorrow. Hopefully in 24 hours, Clint, we're drinking the sweet wine of celebration. How about that?
Can it be a different drink of celebration?
Whatever. The nectar. How about that? The nectar.
All right. How many times have you drank nectar?
I don't know. Probably not very many. I tried mead before, and that's fermented honey. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying
like a monk.
Yeah. Not saying I've ripped it, over and over and over again. I'm just saying I've tried it. Somebody says, try that.
How many mead stands have you done in your life? Did you see that guy yesterday?
Yes. I had a guy text me that and say, like,
that was awesome.
He was able to give me like the fraternity that guy was in, and I thought, is he being funny or is this dude like, I know that guy?
Yeah.
So I didn't really dig deeper on that, but I thought, man, I like it.
I won't guess at the age, but if you want to know how crazy things have been getting over there,
I think he's a little bit probably older than me, a little bit.
Yeah, I would think
so too.
Early 60s? Early 60s.
Yeah. Yes.
They showed it on Pat McAfee today during the Red Raider segment, doing a keg stand and
you know what,
giving his all. That was awesome.
I should probably try that at some point. I've never done it, and there's some of that stuff I need to hurry up and do before you just go, hey man, you're going.
When we're in Arlington and we're covering a Big 12 championship,
is there going to be a keg in Arlington for an 11 a.m. game? Holy moly! Clint.
I think we can make things happen. It's called preparation. That's what this team's been doing all year long.
How about on Pat McAfee today, among the many great things, serious, like, good content things that were, that Joey did, he wasn't trying to win anybody over, but he won a lot of people over that had never really spent time around him and in his world. But he was talking about how and he's told a story countless times, but I think Tuesday night he was trying to get to his truck, and from the front door of the facility to his truck 30, 40 yards away across that little parking lot deal there, took him an hour and a half, basically, left at 9:15 and at 10:46 got in his car or something like that, and signing autographs and everything. And he said, and I signed everything. He goes, I signed somebody's keg. I signed a couple of Copenhagen cans. I signed everything.
He talked about the Copenhagen and the Zen cans. That was so funny.
I know. You knew McAfee. He was fired up about that. Of course, McAfee, somebody had given him a cowboy hat, so he was ready to go.
One, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A little what was he? Resistol? That's
I think it was a Resistol. Pretty sure it was Resistol.
Black felt, it looked like, right? Nice.
This on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We drove through campus last night. Yes. Unreal. I live behind Covenant and could hear the music from Raiderville.
That's awesome. I saw a lot of tweets today to the Raiderville people's credit, because the idea was that they'd get their wristbands and then be sent home today by 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And they cleaned up, and Texas Tech has been tweeting pictures and stuff saying, hey, thank you for cleaning this place up and being out of here on time, because your nightmare scenarios that somebody's going to dig in their heels and act a fool, and then you can't, and
this is where I live now.
Yeah, exactly.
This is my home.
But they were just complimentary in public about that entire situation. It's something, you think about that, for my age, you go, you know what, I can be proud of that. They had a blast. They're doing college at a pretty high level. Yeah. And they're not, hurting themselves and property and everything else. Good job.
Check.
Heck yeah. That's some dad stuff right there.
Shelley said, great point, Gus. However many millions on this roster, this attention and free marketing is worth 4 times as much. Yeah, no doubt.
Yep, you got that right. And when you heard Cody talk about that 9 months ago, shortly after the new year this year, and if you ever saw him make his presentation, he talked about it in terms of the eyeballs that are generated from successful football and men's basketball teams, and enrollment cliff and a lot of things that go way beyond this show right now. But the whole idea was living exactly this moment right here and what could lie ahead. My gosh, can you imagine? I mean, knowing what we've got right now, and it may not even play out like this, but if we had a college football playoff thing, I don't know that students would be camping out because they wouldn't be here. But the game day thing inside would be bonkers, right? I don't know.
I bet enough would come back. I bet in that situation.
Yeah. But
yes, come back for the game.
Though,
but well, I mean, I think some might come back to camp.
It might be a little chilly on December 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Yeah, they're lubed up. They'll be fine. They got a tent.
They're like you. They're outdoorsy. They've got cold weather gear.
Yeah.
I saw the one kid when
this
he went
is where
there.
you go to. If you have the kid in class that's a deer hunter.
Oh, yeah.
You borrow some
That's
clothes because he's going to be prepared.
Hey, so I saw the deal yesterday. One of the strength coaches was out there like, let's go, everybody up. We got a game Saturday.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. And it was, 6 in the morning, whatever. Nigeria Kennedy was with him. And the one dude that popped up was a guy kind of crawls out of his tent and stands up, and he's kind of grinning at the camera, and he's wearing like a high school letter jacket and all that. And I was thinking, that's what he was sleeping in. Like, he was all bundled up, kind of looking at the camera like, hey, attaboy. Yeah. All the other ones were like, shut up, I'm trying to sleep.
This on the chat line, I just saw Pat McAfee at Sonic.
Nice.
We'll get some more thoughts and comments after a play of the day. Plenty coming in. Keep them coming in. Give us your score predictions. Give us your thoughts on the game. We'll remind you more and more as we go along, too, about the tickets we're giving away at 5:15. It is Tech Talk live from the Overton on Double T 97.3.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Happy Friday to you. It is Tech Talk live from the Overton here on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app, which is brought to you by our friends at Happy State Bank. We'll bounce back to the Yates Flooring Center chat line where you can hit us up as well in just a moment. But first, we'll go back to the First United Bank studio where Kyler Brown has today's play of the day.
Wigman goes back to throw. No pressure. Intercepted by Rodriguez at midfield. He leaps over a defender. He's coming down to the 30. On the far side to the 25. Tackled at the 24. Another turnover by the Red Raider defense. And a first down for the Red Raider offense deep in Houston territory. And Height is stepping back in that linebacker spot again. Going to rush from there. Johnson rolling right, throws. It's intercepted. Picked off by Ben Roberts. Comes to the near sideline and out of bounds. Red Raiders have the football. Would have had it either way, but now they've got it on the interception. First down, empty backfield. Johnson going to get caught from behind. He fumbled the football. Red Raiders scoop it and score! Touchdown, Red Raiders! John Curry. That will do it.
Well, we play defense at Texas Tech.
Yes, sir, we do, Joey. The one thing I really love about this defense is this trio stud linebackers. These guys are going to make a huge impact tomorrow, and I cannot wait to see them flying all over the field. Go Red Raiders.
I certainly have this. Do you have that, whatever you would call it, the hate of hearing yourself recorded when it's played back?
Yeah.
Do you think that just happened to Brian Jensen?
He's probably used to it by now.
What timing? Timing to be walking right by the speaker.
No kidding. No, he just happened. I mean, he probably hadn't been here. He probably wasn't here for a total of 1 minute, and it was exactly during those clips being played.
We couldn't have timed that up any better.
Your timing was sublime, Kyler.
Yes, well done.
I try.
Great play as well. And, so something with this BYU team that I think is a theme, even though they're undefeated, is I think that there's some underrated aspects. Underrated receiver duo. Start there.
Yeah.
Somehow an underrated running back, even though he's going to play, but how healthy is he? Good enough to play. I think underrated linebacker room across the way that is going to be really big. And how are you going to be able to move the ball? How can you run the ball tomorrow? I think that's going to be a big key offensively. And then, of course, we've talked about the biggest note for their defense, and I don't think this part is underrated, is everyone's talked about the interceptions, 12 this year. They've had an interception in every game other than the 69-0 thrashing of Portland State to start the season, but 8 interception in the Big 12 play. But we haven't really talked about, like, Kelly and Glasker. They have some linebackers who, by the way, will all be playing tomorrow, and I think that's big because a couple of them have been dinged up. But they're old players. I know he's a safety, but you could throw Tanner Wall into this conversation. And then you get to maybe the most underrated aspect of this BYU team, and it's their head coach. Kalani Sitake has been excellent at BYU. He already has 3 double-digit winning seasons. Had an 11-1 season back in 2020. He had a 10-3 season in 2021. He just had the 11-2. Just barely. I mean, the tiebreaker aspect goes against them last season, and really they're having a similar year, and they fell apart towards the end. It started with that just how did you lose to that Kansas team at home loss, and they pick up a couple more that end up, or I guess just one more that ends up not going their way and keeps them out of Arlington. But Kalani Sitake, I don't know if he gets enough credit when we're talking about the really good coaches in the league.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. The dude's 19-2 over his last 21 games, and so many of the comparisons this week and the conversation around this game talk about him and Joey. First of all, they have the same agent, so they've gotten to know each other through that association, have been to dinner, and have come to really like each other, which is an interesting little footnote to this. But culture guys, a toughness approach to the game. It was interesting. We've heard a lot of different media stops for Joey this week, and he talked about, hey, we got out toughed in 2023 when we went up there. Yes, we had a freshman quarterback, this and that, but he was giving a lot of credit to Sitake and his culture. And they talking about it's the culture we want to have. And even though we don't really have, like Joey, Rodriguez J-Rod didn't play in that game, neither did Barron, but we got out tough. And so I think Joey said he used that with strength coaches and all that, nudging them all week, going, hey, fellas, we got out tough.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that never happens again. But it's a compliment to what to bring it back to what you're saying, it's Sataki and the stuff that he preaches and the stuff he believes in is the stuff that is timeless in the game of football. It wins. And they found a way this year. They have found a way to win every game they've played, obviously. A couple of blowouts, but a whole lot of close wins, and they just find a way. Well, it's a credit to them.
And, BYU, obviously, anytime you have a committed, faith-based university, it's a one-of-one job.
Yep.
And so you also have to embody that university's beliefs and all of that. And so it's even tougher. As tough as it is to, go find a coach that can hang around and rack up a bunch of wins in his career, but then you had the added challenge that BYU obviously provides. And from a decision that you had to run into, Gus, what was a big topic early in the summer, late spring? Well, he had a quarterback where things obviously were clashing there, and then with it you have to find a new guy from what you have left over of 3 youngsters. You end up going with the youngest one. All the while, by the way, having success with Bear Bachmeier, knowing that you have a 5-star quarterback in Ryder Lyons just around the corner, which I'm very interested in the future of that quarterback battle, what happens there. But, I mean, it went from, boy, what are we going to do at quarterback this year to, we got an interesting discussion here down the road because Bear Bachmeier has done everything to win this job. And this is where I think you get into the H word, Heisman talk.
Yeah.
Because Jacob Rodriguez, if you're taking part in the fan vote, and if you don't know how that works, by the way, it's just one big collective, one vote in the 870, however many it is. And so it's not like if he wins the fan vote, he gets 50%, for anything like that. But still, it's important.
Yep.
And 100%, should be doing that if you want to. and if you think he should be, go do that. And what I think is interesting is you have a game set up here on Saturday where Jacob Rodriguez could really help his case. But on the other side, if there were to be an upset by that, and to me, it doesn't really matter what it looks like, and because if it's like 2 interceptions from Bachmeier, I can't imagine that you'd be winning that game anyways. But even if they came in and won an ugly game and he just had like a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown, I guess that's going to launch his Heisman talk through the roof.
Yeah, the QB of the best teams are the ones that sort of orbit in this conversation, in that Heisman conversation. And that's why right now we're seeing Alabama quarterback up on that list and et cetera, et cetera. But
you've seen like Julian Sayin for Ohio State, Fernando Mendoza.
Right. It's like the default for that is going to be the quarterback of the best team, which is why maybe that doesn't pan out for a case for a Baron Morton having missed a couple games and this and that, but it dang sure starts to make the case for J-Rod and others for the various awards that they're up for.
Because I say that because those two specifically, every down you would think when one's on the field, the other one's on the field.
Yes, that's exactly right. The other part of this, too, is BYU. They're playing for a bye. Like, they come in here and win this game, and they're going to want to know, hey, how come we're not number 4 or number 3, whatever. This is a massive game for both teams.
But I think you can work yourself right back into that conversation, especially if you handle them, which you absolutely can. Back with more next. It's Tech Talk live from the Overton on Double T 97.3.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Happy Friday. It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app, which is brought to you by our friends at Happy State Bank. Clint, Gus, Jimmy, we're all here live from the Overton. Kyler's back at home base taking care of us. A reminder, at 5:15, got to be here at the Overton. Little trivia again. We will have 2 tickets to give away to tomorrow's matchup against BYU. Top 10 matchup, the first time in the Big 12, a top 10 matchup since, do you remember the trivia this week?
Oh.
Speaking of trivia.
In the Big 12?
Yeah. 2 Big 12 teams facing off.
2021?
Yes. Bedlam.
Oh, that's right.
Oklahoma State won that game.
That's right. I was scared you were going to ask me the follow-up question. Thank you for...
Who won that game? Who was in it?
I don't know. But that was the year OSU's defense was really good. They came in here and shut us out, and their defense was really good.
It's also the year
their D coordinator after the season went to Ohio State after that, and he's bounced around since then.
That's also the season it was looking like, hey, if you get a fourth down stop, nope, flipped it. If you score, you're headed to a 14 playoff instead. Well, I'm not getting my years mixed up, right?
Say it again.
This is the year that Cincinnati makes the 14 playoff because Oklahoma State bungles the Big 12 championship game against Baylor.
Oh, well, you may be right.
Years are fading. That's not good. 4 years ago. Let's get some thoughts on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Our only way BYU wins is if offensive play calling is like the game against Arizona State in the first half of the K-State game. If we call plays like we trust our quarterbacks, not afraid of taking shots downfield, this could easily turn into a thumping.
You are correct about 2021, by the way.
So, perfect.
Well, yeah, I'm probably putting more into the play calling than I choose to, but that's fine.
Yeah, this is where I'll disagree because you're not going to see play calling like Arizona State because you're not going to run Baron Morton 47 times in that game.
And I also don't know that this, we had some defenses early on in Big 12 play that had an identity. Houston and Kansas, a couple of those teams played us like, hey, we're dropping everybody deep, keeping everything in front of us. You're not throwing it deep. You're not. We're putting too many people back there. And so we ran it and did a bunch of other things and managed the offense and did good stuff. Utah, however, their identity is, we're blitzing, we're bringing the heat, and we're going to play a lot of man. And and that worked out well for us. But I don't know that BYU has that kind of identity. By the way, Clint, pausing that thought right there on the blitzing and all that, saw where Tech is 12th in the country in QB pressures. We've talked about that, right? Of the 12, counting us and the 11 in front of us, we have blitzed the least.
Yeah.
I think we are 19% on the blitz thing. We get after your quarterback with 4 people, which means that there's seven DBs generally running around back there.
Yeah,
or a body to shadow a quarterback, that sort of thing.
It's easy to say this when you have the roster to do it, but I love the approach from Shieldwood of timely blitzes and letting your front dominate for the bulk of the game, but then when you have a big third down or a fourth down or something like that and you feel like you know what they're going to do and that's what it calls for, I feel like, again, it's easy to say because you've been so successful. I feel like you've done a great job when you have blitzed. But just to bounce back to the offense from that thought, I do agree that 100% that you could end this with a thumping of BYU. The play calling side of it, as far as the K-State game goes, again, you're not going to see it like Arizona State. You don't have the quarterback for it right now, and also you have a more mature quarterback and a guy who's more ready for the moment, right?
Yep.
As far as the K-State side goes, I like how you adjusted. I would say the bigger issue in the first half was self-inflicted wounds. You're having some drops in there. You're having more false start issues.
Not as bad as Utah, but yes.
Sure, but in the first half,
right, there were a couple.
there was a reason why your offense looked so ugly, and I'm not going to sit here and hammer on play calling, but
no.
Because you were moving the ball on the ground. But if you start going the other way, unforced errors, what doesn't work? That approach.
Oh, yeah.
And so I do think that even though it's at home, BYU, what plays into what they want to happen? All of those things. It's beating yourself. It's jumping before you snap the ball. It's going the wrong direction and setting yourself up in third and longs. And I do think BYU is good enough to make this an ugly first half. And I think it's important too if BYU isn't able to score, to me, a couple of times in the first half, that bodes very, very well for you, because they've played from behind, but they haven't played from behind against a defense like yours.
Yeah, and they haven't really had to get out of their play script. They haven't gotten so far behind. I don't say play script, but my phrase, we haven't They haven't really had to play left-handed. They haven't really been in a situation where the running game was just, hey, we don't have time for that, guys. We got to chuck it every play.
Yeah.
Like they haven't, and to their credit, and that's where you also go, hey, I can appreciate what they've been able to do as a team and able to manage games in a way that gives a freshman quarterback an opportunity to be successful.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. They haven't said, here, kid, go win it for us. We're 28 points behind. It just hadn't happened. And, a big key to their success and a big part of the narrative to winning this game tomorrow is similar to the road trip last week in Manhattan is, we got to be in the game. We got to be in control of the turnover margin. We can't let them generate 4 turnovers and expect to win the game like this. That's a hard way to live.
I guess the only thing I would differ from that is I think Iowa State, you got to see a glimpse of it, but it happened early. Yeah. And I think to Bear Bachmeier's credit, he didn't blink in that game, but still, I mean, you're a much different beast than what Iowa State is right now.
Yeah, I would like to think so. I think for a lot of reasons, and this conversation is about us and not Iowa State. Yeah. But Iowa State's maybe one of the bigger disappointments in the conference.
Gosh.
And so, it is easier to look at that. And, the other side of this, too, Clint, is we're going to be able to gin up some noise and just doing the things the right way, we, the fans, that can make it tough on a true freshman, right? Mm-hmm. Communication, changing plays, this and that, all of the stuff that Coach McGuire talked about Utah doing so well and legit making it hard on us. We get to now turn that on them. Again, put the tortillas up, go be loud on defense, be quiet on offense.
I mean, you've done this all season long, but this is another example. This is a game where you say David Bailey, Romello Height, Lee Hunter, Jacob Rodriguez, go dominate.
Yes.
Go ruin their Saturday. And then offensively, it's maybe too easy to say this, but just don't screw it up. Don't go make a bunch of mistakes. Don't give them the ball. Don't throw it to their secondary.
Yes.
All the things that BYU has been good at this year. It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3 live from the Overton. When we come back, we'll tell you what's going on.
This has been the Tech Talk Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.